February marks Black History Month. Oakville Museum has a Black History exhibit that is actually available all year long and is free of charge. Jessica Kading visited this morning.
He owed us like he owed his horses and his barns. And we don't go nowhere without his say-so. And he beat us if we don't work as hard as he likes.
At Oakville Museum, Deborah Brown's life story represents the thousands of fugitive slaves who fled to Canada, many to Oakville, through what is known as the Underground Railroad.
So Oakville was a stop on the Underground Railroad. One of our documents that we have up here for our exhibit tells you all of the different routes that people would take escaping from slavery into Upper Canada at the time. And through Oakville, people would be coming over via ships, kind of like the one that we have in our case right here. So in the case, we have kind of the ship and the model that a lot of the different merchants would have been using. As back then, Oakville was a really big port town.
Being a port town, the ships were filled with boxes, some containing general cargo and others containing freedom seekers escaping slavery.
Basically enclosing people into these boxes for anywhere from 8 to 13 hours, depending on the conditions on Lake Ontario that day. And then through the help of people at the harbor, they would have been getting them out of the boxes, and then they would have passed through the customs house and the harbor, which at that time was controlled by the Chisholm family who owned this house. So they would have used the tools of the Underground Railroad to help them with that final step as well, where they would use railroad terms in order to make sure that any conversation that was overheard or any documents that pertain to people escaping from slavery kind of passed a spot check. So anyone who's coming over via Captain Robert Wilson's ship or anybody else's ship would be classified as cargo. And then that would be written in the logs that they have. And that was a way for them to kind of make sure that, you know, nobody was kind of catching on to what was happening and nobody was able to track them once they actually got to Canada.
Through video, print, and even primary source documents, there are so many fascinating historical stories that come to life at Oakville Museum.
This pocket watch belonged to Branson Johnson, who was a freeborn African-American living in Maryland in the north in the 1820s. And this document that relates to the pocket watch is called a freedom paper. So the document was very valuable for a lot of reasons. For people who were living as freeborn, this was the only way to prove it. So thinking about job prospects or, you know, marriage or any kind of housing or anything like that that required legitimate business, this would have been provided, and this would have been something that they used to prove that they were a, you know, born free person.
That freedom paper was found by a descendant of Branson Johnson after being hidden in his pocket watch for 100 years. To learn more about Black history and the Underground Railroad, visit Oakville Museum on Navy Street between 1 and 4:30 any day except for Monday. Admission is free. For Halton News, I'm Jessica Kading.